Welcome back. So, resuming where I was, one of the things I want to talk about while I do this is politics, and basically, so I had to start over due to technical difficulties. I'm still getting used to this, but basically, following Doug Ford, Aaron O'Toole, not that he's the leader anymore, Justin Trudeau, and a bunch of the NDPs on Twitter and different social medias and so on, following the news and everything else. I don't really have any major interest in either parties, to be perfectly honest. Any of the major parties between Justin Trudeau and the We Charity scandal and everything else, and then Doug Ford more recently, just everything. When he came into office, he defunded healthcare, and then, of course, now all of a sudden he's acting like it actually matters, now that it has to. But the reality of the situation is not much of what he talks about is going to get done. Like, more recently he started talking about how he wants to try and start fixing the housing situation and actually make some progress with mental health with the Bell Let's Chat that he does every year, that Bell does every year now. But the reality of it is the main ways that he could be helping towards fixing mental health. Wow. That was weird. Main ways that he could be working towards fixing mental health, he will never take. There's no reason for him while he's in office to do things like increase the rate of OW or ODSP. There's, like, he ran on a platform of cutting the budget. He's not about to just help people who could use it. And then when he's talking about housing and everything else, there's no mention of rental caps. There's no mention of dealing with the fact that a lot of investors are currently dealing with the housing market as basically securities. There's no mention of a lot of things that need to be taken into account in order to actually fix these things, but it's the way both sides seem to operate, and that's why I don't really like either of them, but hopefully the third time works. But yeah, as much as I don't like either side because of complete inaction, I would only ever imagine myself siding with the Liberals, because at least the Liberals are trying to be inclusive. At least the Liberals are about trying to better themselves and trying to understand these social issues better. But I'm just gonna ignore that happened again. But anyway, at the very least, the Liberals are trying, but it doesn't change the fact that they didn't fix housing, and neither are the Conservatives, so we'll just have to see how things go. So, focus this time. There we go. Awesome. But anyway, so I'm a computer programmer. I've been doing programming since, honestly, since I was around 12. I've been playing around with things like HTML, JavaScript. Nothing too incredibly serious up to that point, but at some point I basically, back in I don't even know what grade it would be, but around the age of 12, I was playing around with Internet Explorer on one of those old Macs that had the like the plastic colorful backing on it. Big CRT all-in-one Macintosh computer. And I right-click the website, and I notice I'm going to read through the context menu items this time, and I notice one of them says view source. I sort of pieced together what that meant, and sort of learned HTML just by playing with it, which I've just always had sort of an innate skill for computers and programming. Like, I just taught myself Kotlin the other day, and it only really took a day, and now I've written a few different projects in it. I kind of love it so far, just the fact that it can output HTML targets, it can output Java, it can output for Android, it can even output just basically plain native binaries that seem to have no real dependencies to them, which is pretty useful. So, definitely happy that I started with that, but I remember back in high school I noticed in one of the development folders that I had access to, that seemed to be all the students had access to. It had a Macromedia Flash 6, I think it was. It was either 8 or 6, but I'm pretty sure 6. So I started playing around with that too. One of the very first little Flash apps I made was using clip art out of Microsoft Word. I ended up writing my own code to determine the velocity based off the angle for bullets being shot and for the plane moving. It just pretty much rotated around the screen and fought a giant clip art building. So just a really simple thing just to learn things. I hadn't learned to sine and cosine at that point, so... But I also used to play around in QBasic. Actually, the computer course I had taken in high school, the first half of it was QBasic, and then the second half of it was HTML and JavaScript, but I remember at some point the tech for the high school got really upset because I couldn't see my screen when I was in DOS mode, apparently, and I had to explain, like, I'm in a programming class, I have to be able to do work and stuff, outside of school hours, because I didn't really have a computer at home, so... But... one of the little fun projects I made in QBasic was actually to learn how to read the mouse position. I made a little graphical file browser, and I learned apparently DOS could bypass the lockout on the network drive, so I had access to the teacher's network drive and stuff like that that students weren't supposed to see, which is kind of a massive security flaw. I even remember at some point I realized if you unplugged the Ethernet cable when the account was loading, it gave you admin access, which again is like... Windows just seems to have so many weird little bugs everywhere, it astounds me to this day. But anyway. So, I ended up making a few little Flash programs, and one of the other ones I made that I actually uploaded, along with some other stuff, to FreeWebs at the time, which apparently isn't free anymore, and is just called Webs now, was a castle defender made in Flash that you basically upgrade your castle. You add archers, you upgrade the archers, and it was really fun to make. I wish I had it still, but I didn't exactly have a password manager, or Dropbox, or anything at that time, so it's unfortunate, but time to defeat Gohma. Yeah, it's funny, the little things it spawns in the other room heading to here. I honestly didn't even realize that those were spawned by Gohma when I first played through the game, because I've always beaten Gohma so fast. It wasn't until I watched other people do Let's Plays that I realized that was sort of foreshadowing this battle. I've loved this game for so many years. And I guess that's it. So, thank you for watching.